In this video I will do a review of Game Week 26 and I will start with the goalkeeper. Robin Roofs had no clean sheet against Liverpool. He was a little bit unlucky. The goal was scored from an own goal, but it scored from a set pieces from a corner. Was a little bit unlucky there, but he had 2 points. Then in defense I had Gabriel, who played 2 matches, but in 2 matches he didn't have 1 clean sheet, which was a little bit disappointing, but he had defensive contributions, he had an assist, so in total he grabbed 7 points, but was not very good. I expected at least 1 clean sheet. He had him as my captain. I got 7 points. As a captain I got 14 points. But I expected at least 1 clean sheet. The same goes for Jurien Timber, of course. Jurien Timber only had 3 points. No clean sheet, no defensive contributions, no goals, no assists. Now Chalobah had 3 points from Chelsea. At least he had his defensive contributions. It was 2-2 against Leeds United, but he had his defensive contributions 3 points. So difficult for the defenders and for the goalkeeper. I got only 6, 8, 22 points. Only 22 points in total for 4 players, which is not too bad, but I expected a little bit more from Gabriel and Timber. Then we go to the midfield, and then we had Semenyo, who had 14 points. And Semenyo had a goal and an assist and a clean sheet and the 3 bonus points. So almost like the Grand Slam, he had 14 points. A goal, assist, a clean sheet and 3 bonus points. 14 points. So Semenyo is doing very well for me. Now Declan Rice in 2 matches, he had in total 14 points. In 2 points he didn't have a clean sheet, but he only got 1 point for a clean sheet. But he had an assist. He had his defensive contributions twice. In total he got 14 points and he had 2 bonus points in total. 14 points, so that was not too bad. Because he didn't have my captaincy, but he had 14 points. He did much better than Gabriel. So 14 points for Rice was a good score in 2 matches. It was quite a good score. But he gets his defensive contributions, which is quite difficult for a midfielder. But Declan Rice, you need 12 defensive contributions. I got it twice. So 4 points for defensive contributions. Then Enzo Fernandez had 2 points. For Enzo it's a bit difficult now, because now Palmer is on penalties. If Palmer plays, Enzo is not on penalties anymore. He only got 2 points. Now Morgan Rogers only had 2 points for Aston Villa, who played a poor match against Brighton. Still managed to win, but only 2 points. Bruno Fernandes had Bruno Fernandes had only 2 points. He had for Manchester United, a draw against West Ham United, 1-1. Now if you look in front, then Pedro did very well. He had 10 points, and Pedro had a goal and an assist and 1 bonus point, so 10 points. He did very well. And then Haaland had a goal. He only played 45 minutes, but he had 1 goal, 45 minutes. But he didn't have as my captain, he was my vice captain. Gabriel had 7 points as my captain. He did better than Haaland, 5 points. But obviously Declan Rice or Semenyo would have been a better choice. It was a bit disappointing. But if you look at the bench, then we see now that I had my bench boost that was very poor as ever. For some reason I just can't get the bench boost going. But I was unlucky that Kes didn't start. Matt Kes was injured, he didn't start, and that cost me. Because Aston Villa had a clean sheet against Brighton, but Kes didn't start. But Dubravka had 1 point, Nunez 4 and Mane 4. In total 9 points for the bench boost, which is quite poor. So for the bench boost again I didn't do very well. But in total I had 80 points, but because of the hit, I took a hit, it's 76 points. Which is a good score, 80 points above average. So in total I managed to do very well. Pity about the bench boost, but I had 50 58 points was the average number of points. I was 18 points above average. This also means in the ranking I'm going now from 20,000 back to 14,000. So it was a very good game week. From 20,000 to 14,000. So it was a very good game week for me. But I used now my bench boost and I used my wild card, but I still have my triple captain and I still have my free hit. And be aware that in game week 31, Arsenal, Manchester City, Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton are not going to play in game week 31. So you might need a free hit in game week 31. It's very early days, but that will happen later on. If you look at the game week 31, which is a few weeks from here, I think it's 21-22 of March. So still plenty of time to think about it. But if you look at my total ranking now, 14,000, I'm happy to. My goal was to end in the top 100,000, so I'm in a good position now, 14,000. Maybe I can still get into the top 10,000. It will be hard, but not impossible. So that was the end of the video. I talked about the review of my team for game week 26. In the next video, which will be tomorrow, I do my final team for game week 27.